Start. My name is Celeste Konovich. Tonight, I will be your dungeon master.
Hi, I'm Katie, and I'm going to be playing Blueberry Seth, your drow rogue.
Hello, I'm Nassim, and I'm playing your half-orc fighter, Petonia Silvertail.
It actually worked out perfectly because we're sitting in the order that we normally do our introductions. We're professionals. And I'm Sage, and tonight I'll be playing Aoife, your satyr bard.
Yeah! A little bit about Venture Maidens. We do play in a homebrew world, a place called the Plains, interestingly enough, where basically belief, reality, persistence is what binds things together and makes the planes of existence real or not, depending on how much you care about them. And typically we run through a D&D campaign ongoing. We play live on Wednesdays and then publish these episodes as podcast versions and on YouTube. So tonight we have something very special for you. This is going to be sort of a one-shot game using these same characters that feature in this main overarching story. But, of course, we're doing something fun, a little bit different, to introduce you all, if you're not familiar, to the Venture Maidens and the characters, so you can learn who we are and learn about the world, and hopefully have a really good time. But you know what? I think our opening credits video is probably going to explain this a little bit better, so why don't you go ahead and press play on that, Sage?
I'm allowed to curse?
100%.
Yes, let's go.
Yes.
There's a lot of that on the podcast.
Love it.
Oh,
yeah.
There we go.
Here we go, everybody. Looks so good on the big screen. Which is situated in the heart of the Feywilds. Heaven, unlike all the other wilds that are ruled over and fought over by the various fairy factions that control our world, is ruled by hags who prefer to call themselves witches. So in this community, you have a lot of different magical folks, individuals living here, trying to get out of the rule of the oppressive fairy courts, trying to actually make a life for themselves in this very magical place. And tonight, we have a very special event that is happening in Coven. In fact, a birthday party for young Peloia, who is just a beautiful wood nymph, turning just the ripe age of 16, and there is quite an affair that is happening tonight. And luckily, our heroes have recently come into a bit of business. Our very own Lou here, this is your very first night catering an event. So here we are, at this beautiful, magnificent palace of a building. And what do we see, I think, of our three characters here? Lou, why don't you go ahead and give us a description of what you look like, and then also what your food cart looks like.
So Lou is a very pretty, plump rogue drow. She is wearing just very casual clothes, but this time with an apron draped over herself, looking fierce throughout this room, managing everyone around her. And she has white hair with pink ends, pink eyes, and her hair tied up in a half bun with little scars all over her face. And her cart, it has a motif of a beautiful tree with these wood pieces that carve out a door in the center of it, which is wide open right now because that shit is hot. as all this commotion is going on inside, and she's trying to manage her teammates who aren't chefs.
Not yet.
And speaking of those teammates, Tony, why don't you give us a description what you look like and what you are doing to contribute to this evening's work?
Well, Tony is a very tall half-orc fighter who has bright green skin and skin condition vitiligo, where there's white spots kind of all over her. Long, dark hair with white and gray streaks going through it. This gold detail throughout. Wears her battle medals proudly, always in her armor and carrying her great sword Clyde with her wherever she goes. Insisted on being the security detail for the food truck, but apparently it's too small and is unnecessary work, so we're just banging our sword around trying to fit in this tiny truck, putting hors d'oeuvres together, I suppose.
What kind?
Bacon wrapped asparagus.
I think we might be hungry. It's gonna be and Sage, why don't you tell us about young Eva and what she is doing currently and what she looks like?
Aoife is a fresh-faced 17-year-old satyr, and so she is 5 foot nothing, a skinny little thing, and she is very bubbly, bouncing around, and because we're at a food truck painting this event, I think she is doing all sort of customer-facing activities and is like taking orders, handing out new trays, making sure that everyone, there's like, the drinks are filled up and everything, and so she's just very happily bouncing around, making sure everything has what they want.
Oh, fantastic. And the evening is going well so far. It is quite, it's the beginning of the party, so nothing too bad has happened yet. So currently where this magical truck is been pulled up, you are standing in this beautiful courtyard, which is surrounded on 4 sides by this manor estate. All manner of lanterns and sparkling bits and bobs, pieces of magic hung midair, strung up this area. And there are tables all around, wrought iron tables that are set with beautiful, delicate pieces of china, all in the blues and pinks that put together the decor for this evening. People are starting to arrive at this party now. You see all kinds of folks, because as I said, Coven is a town in the middle of the Feywilds. So just outside its borders, it's trees, it's rampant jungle, it's disaster, it's lots of big scary things, but here, all manner of folk come to live and to work and to survive. So we see everything from very large animals walking around in very cute hats to your more typical types of fae you might imagine, elves, fairies, pixies are starting to get together and mingle, walk by. The doors just opened, so there's not too many folks at this point, but some are curiously looking at all of you. And in the middle of all of this, your host, the individual who hired you for his child's birthday party, comes up to you. This very, very tall individual who is bipedal in shape, but their skin is completely covered in tree bark that is hinged with frost. So they creak as they walk towards you, coming to this booth here, and he considers you. You see the glowing red behind the mask of his eyes, and he says, "How is everything going?" And looks right at you, Lou.
Lou just kind of looks as she has little helpers in this cart, just these tiny little men who are just taking these pieces of asparagus and wrapping them in bacon because she was promised that she would have help by Tandy. And she immediately is just reaches in over the window and rewraps one, and she's like, "It's going great. Would you like a sample?"
I prefer mulch and things of that variety, but I'm sure you're doing an excellent job. Well,
You're gonna say mulch?
yes. Looks down at your tray of food with concerned tree eyebrows.
right, the mulch, that's being made right now, so very soon.
Oh, dude, yes, I do love a good mulch.
Yeah.
One order mulch coming right up. She shouts from the back.
Thank you. My daughter's almost ready to come downstairs, so please have everything set. The music will begin, she will do her dance, and we'll go from there.
Right, and she likes mulch too.
Oh, no. She likes this.
Yep, okay, great. Well, I'll keep making this and the mulch will be right up.
I'm looking forward to it very much. You can very highly recommend it, being the only food part in all of Coven.
We do our best.
Guaranteed the best. Guaranteed.
Excellent. This is a very important night for me and my family. I would hate for anything to go wrong.
Won't be from us.
Excellent. And it creaks and nods and keeps nodding before finally beginning to creak as he walks out. And you see now lots of interested guests are starting to hover around, smelling now this beautiful sense of bacon and mulch that you're making.
The best mulch in the kingdom.
All cedar. You can even put it in your closet when you're done.
Fantastic. Fantastic. So the evening continues on. Things start to get busy now as guests are filtering in. You see now lots of pretty fairies are starting to show up in these beautiful, outrageous, like Cinderella-esque ball gowns. As you see, they're all giggling and standing in corners, and you can assume that these might be Peleria's young friends. And just as your host, Ellen Frost, instructed you, the music begins to play. Ghostly instruments from nowhere start to play through the courtyard, making this very romantic and wonderful tune filling up the space. Now people are filling up teacups and laughing and dancing, and the night is really starting to pick up. And it's this, at the moment, this perfect, beautiful moment, the doors to the manor house open up, and you see this young elven woman steps down in this dress made of pure starlight that trails behind her. And she looks about the space, and there is an audible gasp. And everyone clutches their hands together, and oh, Pelleria, there's lots of whispering going about as the lady of the evening has arrived in this moment. And the tune changes as she steps out gracefully onto the floor, spinning and dancing, and it's all so very magical. And then there's a shriek that comes from somewhere inside the house. And Pelleria turns, obviously her moment interrupted. Everyone is looking around, confused, the guests. Nobody really seems to know what to do. They're all looking around, maybe for the host, but Elfrost is not there. People are starting to panic, moving around. These don't look like the adventuring sort. But you all, here you are, holding your asparagus spears and mulch ready for whatever may come. What are you all doing with this? As people are asking, hey, do you know where, are you okay? What's going on? Someone should go inside.
I got this. Tony unties her tiny little apron that's too small for her waist, throws it back, takes the greatsword and starts to march out of the food truck and says, "Who screamed? Where'd that come from?"
Yeah, so you step into the house and you see that there are people dressed in black and white, probably the serving staff, if you had to guess. And they're all standing together, frantically looking up and down these halls, which are made of paneled wood and have gorgeous tapestries, and just everything oozes wealth and luxury. And down the hall, you can see there's a congregation of these people standing around like a main entrance hallway that leads off in a bunch of different directions, right at the foot of some grand stairs that lead off. And they are clustered around a figure on the ground.
Tony pushes them out of the way, tries to get a look at what they're all hovering over.
Yeah, and you do. I mean, with your outrageous strength, you like throw these people out of the way here. And on the ground, you see Elmfrost laying still. The bark of his face has been cracked, as if shattered, and there is a trail of green sap that is beginning to spill out from this old body on the ground.
I would like to examine the sap, where it's coming from, and his body, see if he's lifeless totally yet or still alive, worth saving.
How would you determine if a tree person is dead or not?
No.
What would Tony do in this situation?
Bring the mulch! Waft it in front of his nose.
Eva comes running in with this like golden platter and is like, shall I put it on him? Does
Don't
that
want
help?
the platters. It's dangerous, okay?
Or beyond
Wait, why? Oh.
There's a body here. Alright, we need to clear the bottom.
And all the servants are going, oh my, and crowding back in and getting in your way.
Alright, I'm gonna take out my sword.
Oh, they stand back.
That's a big sword energy.
We have the situation handled. We will require everyone's cooperation. Please do not crowd the body.
But what should we do? Is he dead?
Lock the doors, make sure nobody leaves. We'll figure out who did this.
Okay. And so the servants go off and start telling people, don't leave. And by now, of course, people are starting to leave in droves because they're like, I'm sorry, was there a body? The music has stopped. All of the lights, have gone from this beautiful twinkling garden scene to just full brightness. And Pelluia is standing there in the middle of it all going, my party! What about my party? And people are just starting to leave in droves. So do you want to run over and kind of close the gates to stop people from leaving?
Mm-hmm. She's gonna put her heavenly imposing tiny body in front of the doors.
Oh, that's cute.
Now just a fucking minute. She's gonna hold up a tiny little fingy and be like, somebody did this and we're gonna figure it out and none of you are leaving.
And Pelluia turns to you and says, what's going on?
Your dad's been murdered.
He's been murdered on my birthday?
There's something wrong with that sentence that you just said. But why don't you sit down, sweetie, and we'll bring you something to eat.
Oh, this is just horrible. I was so looking forward to this. Are you sure he's dead?
Are you sure he's dead?
The mulch doesn't seem to be working.
He has not moved. You have continued to wave this mulch in front of this person, and you have determined that the sap surrounding him is oozing out of the cracks in his skin. Perhaps the blood equivalent for this species.
I would love to lean down and try to find where he's hurt and see if I can try to figure out what caused the injury.
Yeah, so right now he is looking, his massive size stands about 7 feet tall or so, and it is hard to tell what exactly is clothing, what exactly is skin. It looks as if Treebeard just fell down here. So you're looking around and you don't see anything that would indicate like a major blow or some kind of thing, just looking at the body here. But again, there are those cracks all over his skin, and there is the stairs, so maybe he fell and shattered pieces, but that seems a little strange.
Alright, well, I'm gonna take this lovely birthday girl. And I'm just gonna kind of grab her by the arm and elbow and like lead her to the head of the table and set down just the whole tray of hors d'oeuvres. And I'm gonna be like, you sit here, sweetie. Just take a moment. Get your friends. You seem to be enjoying.
They all left!
Oh,
I know.
that's terrible.
They always have this kind of stuff always happens to me.
Okay, I'll be right back. And go up the stairs and try to see if there's like something that could have been put there inadvertently for the trip?
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and you're starting to sleuth, so make me an investigation check. First roll of the night.
Okay, that's gonna be a 17.
Okay, pretty good. All right, we're starting things off right. Interesting. So as you were looking at this, you climb this beautiful, maple banner stairs. You go up to the top here. You see immediately that there is something wrong. The rug that has covered the floor has been kind of thrown to the side, a corner kicked over as if something was moving. Here, maybe some kind of a struggle. There's also scraping along the banisters, as if something heavy was dragged at a very low level. So signs that someone was here. And the rest of the house is pristine, immaculate. So this must have happened quite recently.
Come back down, squad, and take them upstairs with me and show them everything that I found. I know it's a little bit too soon, but I think it was the birthday girl. She's terrible.
She's shoveling hors d'oeuvres into her face and crying. The
Before Eva will do go and verify everything Lou does, she would like to go and kneel down by Eldon Cross and just give a nice little cure wounds and sit with him for a moment.
Just in case.
Yeah. Look, it's a bit of a fall.
You feel the magic. Oh, and tell us a little bit about how does Aoife cast cure wounds?
So Aoife is really big into crafting and sewing, and she has big ambitions to be a fashion designer one day. So all of her magic, all of her bardic magic is suited just such. So she takes out a thread and she makes a quick stitching motion, and you see within the wounds of this tree person where it's cracked in his face, you see this tiny little thread of magic just start to weave little pieces of the bark back together.
Cool. Yeah, and as you are doing this and trying to stitch, you feel the magic go out, and as it should, and then it just stops. As you realize that this person in front of you is certainly dead, and beyond a cure wound spell.
Uh-oh, that's not good.
Yep.
I don't know that kind of magic.
And from out of the crowd now at this point, because many of the servants have disappeared, and they, at your request, they have gotten everyone settled. Everyone who didn't immediately run away now is being placed in lounge chairs and in the dining room, and just trying to seat everyone and keep some kind of order. Out of this crowd comes a man dressed in the black and white of the serving staff, and his head resembles that of a very large rat with a long pointed nose, but with very beautiful curled whiskers. And he approaches you and says, "Excuse me, is there anything I can help with to assist you? My name is Ratagast. I am the butler here. Please, the guests are quite frightened. The young mistress is obviously upset. Is there anything we can do to move this along?"
Well, we would love to first get a list of the guests if you have that. I imagine you participated in planning this whole event.
Oh, of course, yes, I can get you a guest list.
Thank you very much.
There are quite a few people on it, though. I'm not sure if that will help you.
Well, we'd like that anyway, and also the list of the employees working this evening.
Yes, of course. Well, what about this? And he indicates the body. Should I clean it up?
Can we get any more evidence from a bar person?
Yeah, you can certainly, if you would like to make a medicine check or perception, investigate some other way to maybe get something from this body.
Medicine, he's a tree.
I would accept nature as well. That does make sense.
Yeah, do we want to do that? I'm okay.
Yeah.
Yes.
Alright.
All right, who's doing it?
I
Who's doing
do...
CSI?
I'm not proficient, so whoever it is.
Okay, I know I argued for nature, but I'm not good at that, so
Oh, you
I
just
wanted
wanted
to
to
do
be
that.
Oh, it's spicy. Okay, that's not good. So that is going to be a 7.
Ooh, yeah, okay, definitely a tree. Everything is sticky.
Mm-hmm.
You find that out, you're like, oh, sticky hands. That's unfortunate. And you're kind of moving the body. It's very heavy. You're not sure how you're actually going to get it out of here. And even in all your bumbling and jostling, you do happen to notice that as you kind of move, there's a crunching sound, and something metal is definitely underneath the body as it scrapes along the floor.
Alright, okay. Let's turn him over.
Okay. Yeah, why don't you go ahead and give me an athletics, because this dude is a tree. He weighs quite a bit.
14?
Yeah, okay. So you struggle, and of course nobody helps you, none of the staff. They're all just looking at you as you're doing this, and you flip over the body. And right in the back of this tree is a hatchet. Whoa, dramatic pause.
Do you normally keep hatchets in the house?
I don't even know what that's for. Radicast says to you. Yes,
You chop the head off a chicken if you don't have the right equipment.
I don't do that.
Okay. Well, there's a lot of things, but nobody, like, no groundskeeper or anything who would.
Oh, we do have a groundskeeper. Would you like me to call them in?
Yes. Everybody should probably. Do we need to investigate the body? We might want to move the body and then bring people in, unless it's like an intimidation thing.
Look at what you've done.
Does this make you nervous?
Does this dead body make you nervous? I think you're guilty.
I still think it was her, but you know, we'll play the game.
If you want to move it, we can move it. Personally, it doesn't bother me.
I mean, I think out of respect, I mean, I don't think we should quite clean it yet, but I think we should move him perhaps to the master bedroom, at least so we get him off the floor.
Okay, works for me, and we'll need a mop. Because
She turns to Radagast. You mop?
Could do that, I suppose.
great, thank you.
Wonderful. I'll bring in the groundskeeper. Where are you? Are you setting up? What are you, investigators? I thought you were the food people.
We're the Venture Maidens.
They said it! They said the Excellent. He says, and leaves you to your gruesome task of trying to pick up this very sticky, large body and move it into, waves a hand at one of the guest rooms, and you can take that over.
Yeah, before it goes away though, is there anything notable on the axe? Any kind of... Yeah.
You want to take it out?
I want to take the axe.
Okay, yeah, so you pull the axe from the body and a spray of this, stab comes out of it. You can tell that this axe was buried very deep into the back of this individual to make it through layers of bark. So, obviously someone of great strength swung with this blow. But other than that, other than the gruesome, cracking of this, you don't notice anything too interesting about it. It just seems, like one of those axes you might see in a glass case on the wall. Very standard.
Case of quinceanera.
Yeah.
Very glass.
Yes.
Alright. Is there any sort of coat of... To Radagast, is there any sort of coat of arms in this house, or, just an armory of sorts where you keep these things?
Ooh, nothing like that. It's dirty.
Oh, goodness. Okay, well, okay. So, perhaps also while you're working on that, if you don't have any information on what this could possibly be, anyone who's working who might have seen anybody go upstairs also will need those circled on our list, maybe underline whatever we're out, or a check mark, however your organization goes.
Yes, of course. Well, I can think, yes, probably maybe 6 or so people of interest who might have known what was happening. I could summon them all for you in the drawing room.
Great.
Wonderful.
Not a list, but I'll take it.
I I said I'm working on that. You asked for an awful lot.
Yep.
Oh, I'm sorry to inconvenience you. The master of the house is dead. Who's gonna pay your bills now?
Oh dear. Well, we'll get right on that. And he seems to be very thoughtful as he's walking away to summon these people. So you all can lift this body. Anything special about the room you choose to place it in? Is there anything in particular you're looking for? Just throwing it into the nearest guest room.
Do you want to do the master bedroom and see if there's any spicy letters in there?
Ooh, we go left.
I love going to the medicine of houses.
Especially when they're this Mars.
Yeah. Sure. So yeah, you can go to the master bedroom, and it is magnificent. Oddly enough, there's no bed.
Makes sense. Trees.
Trees don't.
Is there just like a pile of dirt and there's a root something there?
There's a curtain, and behind it you pull it. Yes, there's a pile of dirt. Strange. And like a really nice planter.
Tasteful.
Yes, tasteful planter. Yeah, so you roll this body in there, and you hear a gentle knock on the door. There's someone summoned waiting for you, and here is your list. Hands you a scroll.
Thank you.
Yes. Anything else I can be of service with, or should I just get out of your hair?
I assume this fancy house has like a button that you press and it like rings a bell, like very Downton Abbey.
Oh, if you just clap, I'll hear you.
There you go, the light. That's
What?
the new thing. You clap and then it's like.
No, you clap and I appear.
Okay.
Are you getting that? Did
Clapping
that clear?
clear.
Yes.
Uh-huh.
There are no lights. I want to be clear, there's no clapping lights.
Okay. Yeah. I see that in the future.
You can bundle off now. We'll call you in a little bit.
Oh, fantastic.
Thank you.
So,
Shall I go down and deal with this list?
Yeah, if you wanna get everyone,
Throw some mean looks around?
yeah.
Oh, can I help you do the interrogation? I think it'd be great.
Oh yeah, good cop, bad cop?
Yeah, exactly. Okay.
Let's go.
All right.
I'll be up here. I'll be down in a minute. I just wanna really quick check out a few things.
You're good at finding stuff.
So good.
So good.
so good at it. I'm so good at it. Yes, so you head down. What are you doing in here, Lou?
Yeah, as soon as the door closes, she like goes into her apron pouch and then like opens up the hidden pocket in there and takes out her thieves' tools and like any kind of like desk or any like thing that would be locked. She would like to try to find it and pick the lock and see if she can find any like hate letters, basically.
Good, yes. Look for suspects. Yeah, go ahead and roll me, let's start with an investigation to see what you find, and then give me a sleight of hand.
Oh, that's a one.
Oh!
Wow.
Yeah, so you're looking around, lots of nice planters. There's one thing that catches your because there's very large armoire in the space, but nothing little, delicate or little drawers or anything. The armoire is locked. It's pretty obvious.
All right.
But you think that's it, probably.
Okay, yeah, it seems like definitely that would be the only thing.
That's the only thing. Yeah.
All right, let's try these tools. That's another one.
Switched up. Bye-bye. In the jail.
I'm the rogue, I promise.
Yeah, so you go up and, do you have anything special about your thieves' tools, or?
Not so much the thieves' tools, just that they're very hard to find on her person. I think that she just has your standard kit locked away in her secret pocket.
Secret pockets? Yeah, so you go over and you're like, all right, we're ready. You insert this in the lock and there's a clicking sound immediately as it opens.
This doesn't feel right.
What do you mean? I have no idea what you're talking about.
All right, I'm so good at my job, so I'm just gonna go ahead and open it up.
Yeah, and as you do, this wave of filth just like falls upon you. It's just like, nasty compost just rains down and the smell is awful and you are covered in it. Good Good job.
Nice.
That's a secret stash of mulch.
That's the secret. That's the good stuff.
And so you don't have to go down to the kitchen.
Yeah. He said he was on a diet, but really.
Snacker. It's a midnight snack. Yeah. So that's a dirty little secret you find out there. You are covered now. So I imagine your pristine whites, whatever you were wearing for the food cart, now just covered in filth, and it's so obvious that you've been snooping.
Well, in this room, are there any other like clothes or anything to put on here?
There seem to be large pieces of bark in various shades. You're not sure if that's like
That's not the
dead
look.
skin or
That's certainly not the look. Okay.
or who knows. Great. There's some decorative moss as well.
Ooh.
In a basket.
That's okay. So I'm going to brush myself off as best I can. And I'm going to kind of like go to the top of the stairs and be like, Eva! Like try to like scan.
What?
Right, I got that. And she's gonna run to the cart real quick, and she's gonna grab a spare uniform, and she'll run her up real quick, and give it to Lou.
Thank you.
Okay, thanks. So you duck out of sight. And Tony, you have now stepped into the drawing room space here. Aoife all of a sudden gets called out and comes back in. Okay, we're here. And you see that there are 6 individuals that have been assembled for you by Radagast. You see, of course, young Televia sitting there. She seems to have regained some of her composure. Now just has a very sour look on her face, like she is pouting by the fireplace. You also see that there is a beautiful Eldrin woman with flaming orange hair. As a note, Eldrin in our world, based off of the Eladrin from 4th edition, so not this summery season, but these Fae-descended individuals. So she is sitting there looking like bored out of her mind in this pristine suit. And next to her, you see a satyr who has like a deep chestnut-colored fur. He looks a little bit rumpled. He's not in party clothes like the rest of them. He's chewing on a piece of grass, looking around. And you also see a very large white rabbit with pink eyes and a very nervous nose, scooted into a corner. She's got a very dapper little hat on. And a rabbit the size of her, of course. So quite large. Quite large. Standing in the doorway behind you, Radagast is observing this from the background. So those are the 4 people you see there. Fluttering by the fireplace is a pixie with blue hair that is wearing white and black, so another member of the serving staff. And then the last person you see is a very tall, gray-skinned man? Human man, if you had to guess. But there's something about him, the more you look at him, the more you don't want to. It's very unnerving. The plainness and the strangeness of him is very uncomfortable. And these are the 6 individuals assembled around you.
Walking into the room, we're going to make a big show of it. Swing our shoulders side to side, taking the biggest steps we can, heavy, hand on the sword, and face everyone around the room, taking a moment of silence, sizing them all up, and then with an intimidation check. We're gonna be real scary.
Ooh, big got energy.
17.
Okay, you're quite scary. Just swinging your deck around as you walk into this space. And everyone here in the room does. They stop what they're doing. Their expressions, all eyes on you, and the room goes very quiet as you thud, 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 and turn and look at all these people assembled. So it's just you, that silent moment, and the crackling of the fire that is now burning in this large fireplace.
Listen up, everybody. My name is Tony. This is my partner, Aoife. That's right. Now, we don't know everything yet, but that's why you're here. You're gonna tell us everything you know and everything you've seen, or you're not getting out of here. Understood?
The pixie, who has now landed on top of the fireplace mantle, lands and raises a hand.
Yes.
You want everything we know? Or in particular to this night? Or I'm sorry, I'm just not really clear. Who are you?
As I said, my name is Tony. I am.
But what do you do? I thought I saw you in the food court earlier.
What is your name, ma'am?
My name? Oh, why?
Well, I'd like to get to know everyone in this room, that's why.
Oh, well, I'm Sophie. Nice to meet you.
Sophie, nice to meet you.
Yes, I'm the housekeeper. So I see all kinds of things. I know lots of things and lots of people, and I'm perfectly sure I have nothing interesting to tell you.
Well, we'll be the judge of that, Sophie. Why don't we start, though, with your relationship to the master?
Oh, well, like I said, I worked for him, and yes.
How long have you been working for him?
Oh, quite a while.
Any numbers associated with that time?
Oh, what are you? You're mortal, so I suppose what, 10 years?
Thank you very much, all right. And how closely have you been working with him for tonight's preparations?
Oh, I mean, quite closely, getting everyone ready, the staff, of course, and Mr. Kaluuya needs a lot of things, so I've helped with that.
And
But not an untoward amount, and certainly I had nothing to do with that. You know, that thing that happened, that's murder?
All right, well then can you tell me where you were at the time?
No, because I don't know when that happened.
Oh, is that right?
Yes.
You're telling me about 15 minutes ago, when the hatchet was buried into the back of the master of the house, ye don't know where you were?
How do you know it was 15 minutes ago? Maybe you're the one who did it.
No, I have an alibi. We were all standing together in the courtyard when Miss Palomina came out and we heard a shriek.
Well, maybe I was there too.
I didn't see you then.
You can't prove it.
Oh, I will.
Which company?
All right, we're gonna move on from this one.
I don't know anything. How many times do I have to tell you?
We'll come back to you. Thank you, Sophie. The next, talk to the tall, gray-skinned man.
Sure. You look at him and he looks back at you and you start to feel very cold.
Excuse me, sir. Can I have your name, please?
He nods at you, and the blue-haired woman says, "Oh, Jet doesn't speak. He's a dreamer, obviously. I have no idea what that means."
Yeah. All right. Can you speak for him?
Oh, I mean, I don't want to presume, but I suppose I could try. Well, what do you want to know?
Well, about the same kind of thing. Can you please tell me your relationship to the master?
Oh, Jet and he have been old friends. He's visiting in town, Elm Frost, and he goes way back. Well, they did go way back, and Sorry, am I getting paid for this? This conversation, because I do hourly. And
Yeah.
yeah.
We'll invoice you. You invoice us. Yeah. My people will call your people.
All right.
Okay.
Can I suppose I can stay and answer your questions? Yes.
What was that?
I was asking if she accepted bits of thread as pay.
And where were you, Jet, at the time of the murder?
And he looks meaningfully at the blue-haired woman, and she says, "Oh, I think that means the library."
You were in the library during the party.
He looks. Yes, he's not very social. Something about not being able to talk.
Okay, never mind. Anything from you?
Let's see. She would like to turn to him and she'll ask him, well, if you don't speak out loud, how is it then that we could communicate with you? That would be more accessible for yourself, make it easier.
And he considers, strokes his hairless chin, and taps a finger towards his temple.
Okay. I think she would take this as, I don't know, she'll extend a hand to him, like maybe touch for telepathy. She's kind of getting that vibe.
Yeah, and you reach out, and he moves the finger and does lightly take your hand, and you hear a voice in your mind, and you're not hearing so much as seeing images, but you feel a sense of connection.
Interesting. So she's going to think, let's see here. Oh man, CSI Coven. She's going to think about, like, what is your connection to Master Eldon Frost?
And you get a sense of great sadness when you say that and when you think that name. And you see images of togetherness, of a long history, of friendship. That's what you experience when you connect.
She's going to think about the scrapings along the banister and with the posing of the question, sort of the intent of, like, what do you think could cause that?
And yeah, there's more consideration. There's confusion. There's a sense that, probably something very heavy. Maybe the body was dragged.
It was staged. And then her final question that she'll have is there anyone or any faction who would gain from Eldon Frost's death?
And when the response comes, it isn't in your mind. You see this gray-skinned individual turns their head towards the woman who's been sitting there, the Eldrin woman with the fiery hair, who is now putting on some lipstick.
She gives a very knowing nod, and she'll say aloud, thank you for your time. That's given me quite a bit to consider. And then she'll pull Tony out to the side so we can have a little sidebar about everything. She's like, so when I asked them, stage whispering, so when I asked him of who might gain from the master's death, he gave me eyes over to the fiery lady over there. It should be our next interview.
Slow stepping on over to the fire lady.
And she looks up at you as you're stepping at her and gives you a what kind of expression.
And what are you doing here tonight?
Oh, well, I suppose I had to be here.
Obligation.
Yes, my stepdaughter's party isn't something I would want to miss.
So you were with the master, is that right?
He must have been around somewhere. He's always around somewhere. Well, I suppose not anymore.
Well, you don't seem too bothered by that.
Well, what do you want me to do? Cry? Be a mess?
Perhaps not make a joke? not 30 minutes past his death.
Don't tell me what to do or what to say. You're in my house now.
Yes.
The audience gasps. So we know it's mother.
Well, have you taken the time to speak to your daughter about any of this and see how she's feeling?
Stepdaughter.
Right, you've made that distinction twice now.
Well, I mean, I think you know why. And Halloween sitting over there just glaring across the room.
You two are not close, I assume.
You could say that.
Now, you weren't around at the time of the murder. Do you remember where you were?
Oh, where was the bar?
Could I make an insight check while Tony is interrogating this woman?
Yeah, absolutely. Go ahead and roll for me.
Natural 20!
Whoa!
For a total 25.
Wow, okay. God, you read all of them. Everything comes to you in a flash of insight, clarity. And you're putting the pieces together like, of course, it makes sense. The stepmother who hates the husband, who hates the daughter. Oh, what? And she is clearly hiding something. She is well practiced in the art of seeming cool, seeming unbothered, but something is very much troubling her. And you can see both Peloia and her keep exchanging glances. You mistook it at first just like for glares at each other, but there's something going on between the two of them. They seem very concerned. And also the rabbit in the corner, who's just now nervously chewing on a bit of furniture, seems very afraid of Tony in this moment. And you also notice that Radicast has been really watching the room with quite a bit of interest. He hasn't left from across the hall where he's just looking, standing just close enough to hear everything that's happening. So you get several weird vibes in this room. The satyr honestly feels like he has no idea why he's here. He started to roll some tobacco and was making a cigarette in the corner.
Very nice, dig it. Eva, with these flashes of insight, Eva's gonna, very slowly just saddle up next to her as she's sitting next to the fireplace and get kind of, just like really close and intimate. Be like, I know you're putting on a brave face. We all grieve in our own way, and that's fine, and, you'll work through that process, but, if this happens in your own house, you must feel a little bit frightened, like something could come after you.
Are you talking to the fiery-haired woman at this point?
Yeah.
Okay. And you sit down by her side, and she considers you, closes her makeup case, and says, I've never been afraid of anything in my life.
Oh, of course, look at you, perfectly polished and put together.
I feel like there's an insult coming.
No.
Fantastic.
It's just funny that you're a fiery, eldritch woman in your... Anyway, so...
First I'm not allowed to make jokes, but now I'm just funny for existing. How strange.
It's just that, it seems here to be that you're the one to gain the most from this situation.
Well, I suppose I am. But I wouldn't kill him. Why would I?
Well, then clearly you know something that could lead us elsewhere.
You should be asking the servants, not me. I couldn't swing that axe, obviously. I mean, it was in there.
Did you think that perhaps someone was working for someone else on their behalf and swung that axe?
I don't know. My husband had many enemies. All the court politics, you know how it is.
And any of these courts have large beasts with nails that could make those kind of etchings into the handrails?
Well, I don't know, Tilda, what do you think? And the rabbit in the corner goes, and blinks when you say large beasts.
We'll step on over to Mr. White Rabbit.
Yeah, who just shrinks in the corner more and more, but is so large there's nowhere left for her to go. Hi, what? Hello?
Hello, what is your name?
Oh, I'm Tilda.
Hello, Tilda.
Hello.
Would you mind if I took a look at your paws?
That's, all of them?
Yes, please.
Here you go. And does a very quick wrist motion and tucks them back into her big fur body.
Can we try and snatch one of her front paws?
Yes, she gasps dramatically when you do it.
Okay, I'll make an investigation. No, animal handling, maybe. if I can.
What exactly are you doing? And then let's talk about it.
Like when you're dealing with your pet's paws and claws and you want to see if they're
Oh yeah, and to keep them from being
yeah,
all
you're like you're
squirmy.
gonna clean them, clip them, things like that. But in that process, I'm taking a good look.
Okay, yeah, I would buy animal handling. Let's go ahead and do it.
Thank you very much. Oh man.
Oh, stop it!
Well, bye.
Oh, no, see, nothing. And you're trying as you might, and she just will not stop squirming, and you don't really get a great look. You feel like they're a little bit grayer than the rest of her body, perhaps, but you don't see anything obvious in all of the movement. And she tucks them away again. It's fun, we're playing footsie.
Gives a whole new meaning to get unlucky.
Oh, he's a rabbit foot. That's funny. Are we done? I would like to go. This has been really excellent. A great party. I'm so sorry, Julia. Your father is dead.
How do you know, Master Eldenfrost?
Oh, we used to date.
Oh, so he's got a new wife and his ex-girlfriend.
Yes.
The Fae really is wild.
Well, you know, we get around. You live as long as we do.
I suppose. Is Eldenfrost involved with any of the Fae courts?
Oh, well, you know, that's illegal in Coven. So, no?
Yes.
I don't know. Why? Did you hear something?
Well, the Fire Lady over here is really throwing some shade.
Oh, that's funny again! Because of light!
Exactly.
You're so funny!
Thank you. No one's ever said that before.
Yes. I think at this point, everyone is in the room staring at each other like, what the f are we doing?
Oh man, who else haven't we not interviewed in this room?
The satyr.
Oh, the satyr who really doesn't have any clue for being here. Sus.
He started smoking a cigarette inside in the drawing room, and the woman with the orange hair keeps looking at him like, and he's ignoring her. He takes a deep drag, closes his eyes a little bit.
You seem to be enjoying yourself. What is your name?
I'm Billsley.
Billsley. And can you tell us how you knew Mr. Elderfrost?
Elmfrost. I'm the groundskeeper, so take care of the plants, get the mantle on mulch,
Take care of the plants. She gives a little meaningful glance.
That's what I said. Take care of the plants.
Never mind.
Yeah, flowers, hedges.
Masters of the house.
No.
Oh.
He was a grown man, he could do that himself. And takes another big breath. Aoife is just, I don't know, Tony, I think you've lost Aoife.
Where were you at the time that the body was found?
Oh, I was trying to get some of these garden thingies strung up. You know those fireflies they put in those things? They're a real bud.
And your equipment, when you're not using it, where do you keep it?
Oh, in the shed just outside.
Is it locked up for an event like this at all?
Who would go in the shed? Of course I don't lock it.
You don't lock it.
No. Do you lock your shed?
Not fortunate enough to have a shed,
Oh.
but
That's a
thanks for
shed.
asking.
Real nice shed. Fit a lot of real nice stuff in it.
Yeah, like that axe that we found.
Yeah.
It's back. Was that yours?
Produces it.
And all of a sudden, he kind of realizes where he is, and he's, no. That's not mine.
Inside.
Roll advantage.
Okay.
This is not the craftiest.
Was that double one?
No, it was a 4 and then a 1.
Oh, boy.
Oh, Lord.
Doesn't matter because it's a 5 again.
Yeah, so you can see that he's backpedaling, I think, on this conversation, suddenly realizing there's a problem, but you're still not sure exactly what. He's playing poker with you. Yeah, no, that's not mine, so.
So if we were going to the shed right now, where you keep the axe.
Oh, but you don't want to go there.
Oh, I think we do. In fact, since you have such a nice shed.
You know, it's dirty.
You just said it was so nice.
It is nice
Uh-huh.
and dirty.
Oh, okay. Do they keep the mulch there?
I'm sorry, wait, who are you? Are you single?
Wow. Oh, right, yes.
Okay.
Okay, well, let's make our way over to the shed. Why don't you stay here?
Good idea.
And keep an eye. Maybe you should go. Instead.
We should get Lou. She's really good at finding stuff.
Not today.
Taking a mulch out of your hair.
Yeah, I think at that moment Lou comes down and all of her massive hair just like put into a top knot, like rogue pieces of mulch just sticking out that she's pulling out of it. She's like, so it was the birthday girl, right?
We saw her in the courtyard when the scream happened, so I don't think she's strong enough.
Well, that's mean.
She says, I'm not from across the room.
Well,
This is taking so long, and it's my birthday.
Go open your presents or something.
And she looks over at the lady with the orange hair who shrugs. Okay, I'll go do that. And she runs out of the room.
I think we need to take a look at the shed with the groundskeeper's tools in it, so would you...
Those aren't my tools.
Then who do they belong to?
Well, the house. So I guess the dead guy.
And you are in charge of the grounds that require those tools to be kept, so I'd say they're under your watch. But, you know, those don't really matter right now. Why don't you sit tight?
Oh, okay. I'm right here.
Good.
When you need me.
I can keep them company.
Yeah, is she good?
I think you should keep me for company. And I'm gonna go.
Well, it's gonna keep me company.
Is there something happening here?
I'm trying to stop it before anything starts, okay?
Got it.
And then, yeah, Tony wants to make her way to the shed.
Yeah, so you do. You exit from this very awkward, uncomfortable scene that is involving in the parlor. And as you step towards the shed, it is just off of this main courtyard where most of the party was set up. There's like a little kind of hallway off to the side where you can walk back into the more open grounds of the house area. And the shed, up against one of these walls here, you see that the door is slightly ajar. And a unlocked padlock is sitting on the ground.
Okay. I'll pick up the padlock and just take it with me and enter the shed. Is it lit at all?
No, not for now. You do see like sconces where you could put some torches if you wanted to, but you can look in with the moonlight and everything going on here. It's not huge. It looks indeed like a shed. And there are hooks on the walls, there are lots of racks and stuff. Luckily, it seems like Billsley takes pretty good care of the shelf because when you see that several tools are missing, it's quite obvious.
Or is it also obvious what kinds of tools?
It looks generally like, an axe could fit there. It also looks like some rope has been taken. There are a couple of, it looks like candlesticks that maybe one is missing from there's like a pipe that's a wrench. Weird.
And a revolver?
See, it's so weird. There's like this little handle thing with a barrel. You've never seen anything like it.
That looks cool.
But there's one missing from the rack. How bizarre.
That's a lot missing. Alright, we'll take note of all those things. And also,
I still just can't believe you've done this.
I'm not doing anything. You're just waiting in the study. Don't worry about it.
Fucking in the drawing room.
So, and Tony, I think as you exit from this situation, you are surprised instantly as Bradagast is right behind you there, and he goes, snooping around, are we?
well, I'm following up on a lead. Do you know anything about these things that are missing? The rope, the pipe, the wrench?
I can't say I do. Oh, why would I go here? This is Billsley's area, right? If something is missing, clearly Billsley did it. Or took it. Whatever.
Well, you're here now. You felt inclined to follow me.
I just wanted to see what was going on.
How did you feel about the information we were getting in that room? You seemed really interested.
Oh, no, I was just listening for... It wasn't interesting at all. I finished my book recently, and that's it. So all I had.
It's a bit of entertainment, light entertainment.
Yes.
Weird. All right. Then, can you tell me a little bit about Billsley?
He's... where to start? Always a mess. He smokes a lot of something that smells very funny. Honestly, I think he's a very suspicious character. And he never had a great relationship with the master, unlike me. We were very close. But Billsley, he's also somewhat of a brute, if I'm going to be quite honest. Very strong. Mm-hmm. He waggles his eyebrows at you.
Is Radagast pretty tall?
Yeah, he's tall, he's thin, and again, he's got that very long, pointed rat's nose that is just bobbing just a bit.
I can't really reach I wanted to take a closer look at that hole up there. Kimberly, would you mind grabbing that for me? You're just so much taller than me. It's hard to find, but...
All right. Yes, and he takes a handkerchief out of his pocket and holds it and reaches up and grabs it.
As he does so, I want to try to get a good look at his hands and if he's got big claws going on right now that are messed up.
He has claws. They're well manicured, though.
He has to have a napkin to pick up a pipe, I guess so.
They look freshly polished.
All right.
And
Thank you.
he goes, yes, this for you.
Thank you so much. Well, I think we're all done here.
Fantastic. Well, I'll be around, just in case you need me. Always watching. Just in case.
Can you tell me why you pulled that particular list of people?
Oh, well, they all seemed like they might have the most motive. They're all very close to the master in different ways. Do with it what you will. I'm just the butler. I've never done anything wrong.
That's what they all say.
Butlers?
Rats.
Well, goodness. He strides off. Conversation over, he says, as he walks away.
Yeah, I'll follow him out.
Okay.
And I will close and lock that. Well, it'll lock, right?
Yeah, you can shut the padlock in. It doesn't look broken, so whoever did open it used to be.
Well, that defeats the purpose then. Cool. Well, I'll leave and head back into the drawing room, where everyone was.
Yeah, into the study. And people now have been there for so long, they're just starting to wilt on these couches, looking at you, and the woman again with the orange hair, so the stepmother, is just... listen, I don't know what this is, but can we bring this to a close? I'm getting quite tired. Now apparently I have to have a tree funeral, which is a whole thing.
What does that even entail?
Oh, it's remarkably complicated. I don't know why. You just throw them in a chipper.
He became what he loved the most.
Oh my God! It's the mulch trees!
Yes, that is what mulch is.
That's like cannibalism.
Do you know how plants work?
No.
Okay. We'll talk about it another day.
As you're having this conversation, all of a sudden, you hear a scream from somewhere else in the house, in the direction that young Palawea ran but moments ago.
To the present room.
Let's go.
You run to this room. You find yourself in a beautiful conservatory full of flowers. But one of the tables has been knocked over and potting soil spilled across the ground. And there, on the pile of potting soil, a body, young Palawea, has fallen onto the ground, surrounded by wrapping paper, torn to shreds but moments ago.
Is there like anything that's fallen in front of her, like a gift that may have harmed her that she opened?
Why don't you go ahead? There's actually quite a lot of gifts. She seems to have been very industrious. You have left her here. And you do also hear a fluttering sound as the blue-haired pixie from before, Sophie, is like, I just found her like this. I just walked in here and she was like this. Oh my God. Not the young mistress.
You guys didn't see her leave?
Oh.
No, I'm talking to Lou and Aoife. Did you notice when anyone left the room?
She was throwing the right hissy fit, so I told her to go, oops.
Oh my gosh, what are we gonna do? I mean, not that I want to do anything. I didn't have anything to do with this. Who are you people? Why are you in the house still? What's going on? You came here and everything started going wrong.
While she's still doing that, I'm just gonna examine the body and see if there's a weapon attached to this one again, or anything underneath her.
Yeah, so you are looking at all of these presents, everything scattered around this place, and you see that around her neck, something has been pulled very tight. There is a line, a distinct line, where she seems to have been strangled by something. What can it be?
Perhaps rope?
Perhaps. I'm not sure why you get that feeling, but indeed, that does look like rope burn.
Did everyone follow us into this room?
Yes, I believe everyone now, including Radagast, has hovered now and is looking at you going, oh my, oh my.
Everyone, look for a rope. If you see a rope, please bring that forward. Everyone else, empty your pockets now.
Oh, well, that seems very rude and uncomfortable. Do we have to?
I don't care about your comfort, woman.
That's clear.
So, shall I do it for you?
Well, fine. And she, yes, turns things out and there are more makeup bits, and everybody starts turning out their pockets. And I mean, other than the normal bits and bobs you would expect, nothing terribly strange. Until Tilda puts something on the ground, and you see it's this pouch, this holster. She puts on the ground.
What do you keep in that?
Oh, it's nothing. It's just my bag. In case I need things, or I go to the grocery store, then I need to put things in it.
Is it empty or is it?
Oh no, you don't have to look in it. No, I'm doing this again. And you pick it up. There's something very heavy inside. Take it out. And it's strange. It's this weapon you've never seen before. It's got this wooden handle, and it's very strange. And you think you've seen like pistols before. It's weird. That's in the wilds, but yes, here it is. I use that for protection. Only protection. Nobody here has been shot, so why are you looking at me? What are you accusing me of?
I mean, this is a compliment, ma'am, but you're the size of a horse. Why do you need this?
Very large bears.
Is that a thing here? Do we know that?
It's the Feywilds. I mean, anything really could be that.
Oh, yes.
But we did happen to notice in the shed something very similar to this missing from the stores.
Oh, that's very strange.
So you wouldn't mind if we held on to this for you then?
Oh, well, what if there's a bear? What are you going to do? Are you going to protect me? A girl has to look out for herself in this big wide world.
I'll do my very best to protect you.
Oh, like you protected Pedalia, huh?
Well, I was busy in the shed.
Well, you can't go in the shed anymore. If you're going to take my gun, then you have to protect me. End of story.
I'll stay by your side, as long as you stay by mine.
Sure.
Maybe nobody should leave anybody's side anymore.
I think that's good. Do you think the murderers what if that? She looks at the other people, left in the room. You could be standing with a murderer.
Well, the murderer is certainly still here. So that's why we shouldn't be breaking up anyone anymore.
Everybody starts looking at each other with suspicious gazes.
If a whistle's not shalom.
All heads turn towards you. And the woman with orange hair says, listen. We're all starting to make accusations of one another. Clearly we all were invested in this. But my question is, What if it was one of them? What, we're just gonna let them lead this investigation? And everybody else in the room starts nodding, including Tilda saying, yes, that's right. We were all friends, we were all fine, and then you showed up, and things started acting strange. When you went to the shed, she does with her little rabbit fingies. When you went to the shed, how do we know you were the one killing Pilloria? You were the only one away from us, everybody else was here. I'm pretty sure.
She'll turn to Radagast. Well, I was followed by the butler of the house, so if anyone can...
Unfortunately, I did see her there at the shed, so it is not this one. And everyone's like, oh.
If we were in fact the murderers, I don't understand why we would be interested at all in helping you solve this mystery. I think we would have left by now.
Well, maybe you should just leave. Clearly this is going nowhere.
So you're not interested in ridding your house of the murderer?
Well, if the three of you leave, I think that's three likely possibilities walking out of our lives, reducing even the threat to a murder.
Since we were all verified to be out there serving people, and she has an alibi as well, I don't think that any of us are the murderer.
Well, it's not one of us.
That's interesting because when we came in here, you, and she indicates to the pixie, were already in here and had found the body.
Oh, I wasn't in here. I don't know anything. I didn't know anything, and I wasn't here. And I'm not here now. And
J'accuse!
Oh, well, in that case,
I can go, okay?
no. Talk.
What do you want to know? This is just going in circles.
Where were you going that you found her?
I was going, well, I heard the sound of crinkling paper, and I'm the maid. And so I was going to clean, and then there she was on the ground.
Looking at the scene, because Aoife had gotten the sense from the gray-skinned man that the master of the house had been moved, that his body had perhaps been positioned or thrown down the stairs, and wants to look around for similar clues, like are there footsteps, are there drag marks, are there any of these claw marks around that we saw on the stairs and the banisters?
Yeah, go ahead and make me an investigation check.
Gladly.
Can I help you? I'd love to help you.
Yeah, why don't you roll with advantage?
Fantastic.
As you were looking around the room, scanning for clues to this ever-deepening mystery.
Less.
Alright, as always say, that's all okay. Yeah, so you are looking around the room. Clearly, Chloe was in the middle of opening up all these packages, having a great time, papers everywhere, tinsels everywhere. I mean, there's so much going on. It's easy for you to imagine that, somebody could have gotten in here without her noticing, certainly. And you're looking, trailing to the edges of the room, and you do see that there is one brick wall here that just doesn't look quite right. It doesn't really match the facade of the rest of the room. And you notice that there is actually a crevice along the sides of this panel of the wall.
Oh, and she'll immediately call him over. Look at this! I think this is like your kind of thing.
What do you mean by that? I'm a chef.
I'm a chef, I'm not a rogue, and I've never stolen anything in my whole life.
I've never done shady things at all, ever once. She'll say, well, the work that you've done with the family, not this family, but a different family, your family, might be where secret pantries? And she points to this noticeably different brick. It's a secret door.
Oh yeah, Mom does like to hide the cookie butter. That makes sense. Okay. Then she's gonna take her knife and kind of like jab it between and try to like pry it open.
Yeah, and you find that sweet spot there, and you hear a click, and the wall revolves, and you find yourself standing all of a sudden in the study. And you can do it again. You can hit the little lever on the side. Whoop! You find yourself in the conservatory.
Ta-da.
And everybody's just watching you with horror as you're spinning around.
Was this to do it like 8 more times? But when we are in the study, who was standing in the area when we were asking, well, they were asking everybody questions and I went down?
Yeah, so this area that is spinning here is that section right by the fireplace. 2 people were crouched in this corner. One being a very large white rabbit who is now looking extremely nervous, and the gray individual, Jet, were in that corner of the room.
Well. I'm just kidding. So, you two. You mind coming in?
Why? Says Tilda.
Because you have a gun and you were standing exactly where this goes out to.
But she wasn't shot. I'd like to point out, just in my defense, not that I need to, because
Originally, I didn't think that it could possibly be you because you have the cutest little paws.
oh, thank you.
But if you can hold a gun, then you can hold a rope, lady.
Oh, I cannot.
Don't doubt yourself.
Oh,
Just admit it.
oh, that's all right. I mean, I could, but I wouldn't. Honestly, rabbit's honor. Lucky foot. Remember the good times?
So you felt totally at ease being here at your ex-lover's party with his current wife and his daughter from another mother.
Yes, I was completely comfortable with the situation. We have a very interesting relationship.
Were you two still close?
I was close enough to get an invite to the birthday party, so I'm an appropriate amount of close. A not suspicious amount of close.
What would you consider suspicious?
Oh, wife? Perhaps? But now that the daughter and the man is dead, gets everything. Perhaps? A suspicious relationship, perhaps? Perhaps? You get it? Do you understand what I'm...
Yeah, Tony turns over to I didn't write her name down.
She has not told you her name.
She hasn't given it, okay.
We're really good at asking people questions.
Crack investigators on the case.
Doing it.
Turning over to the orange-haired lady.
Yep.
What is your name again?
Oh, I'm Lady Marmalade. Yep.
Lady Marmalade.
I'll say it again.
Lady Marmalade.
Why are you whispering my name like that?
Well, I'm just wondering if you take any concern at the fact that this Tilda here is accusing you fairly heavily.
Well, I mean, look at her. She's a mess.
All right.
She's right here.
There's a lot of...
What do you want me to say? It's my ex-husband's ex-lover. Are we supposed to be polite?
He's your ex-husband already.
Oh, he's dead. So ex.
So you're not a widow.
What? No, he's dead. It's not my problem anymore. It's not my problem. What that little brat, honestly. Whoever's running around murdering these people is honestly just doing me a big old favor.
Sounds like it. Did you hire anyone on this staff, personally?
No, I didn't do that sort of thing. That was mostly Elm Frost. He liked to be friends or something with people he worked for. I don't really know. It wasn't really my thing.
You hired his friends?
Well, he liked to know the people he was working with, that sort of thing.
And how close would you say he is with the groundskeeper?
Close, I suppose. Very close to Fraticast, that's certain.
Guys, I was investigating very important things upstairs and having no difficulty earlier. That gray guy, he was over by that area too. Maybe what was his deal?
Would you like to ask him a question?
I mean, she looks over at him.
His placid expression begins to stare at you, and you feel your veins turn ice.
Right. You're very tall.
He nods.
I mean, in general, for everybody, at any point, did you happen to not notice this extremely tall man at all? At any point, leave the room?
He considers, shakes his head no.
Wow. It was you, or it was Tilda in my book. You are in this corner, so what can you do to prove that it wasn't you?
He looks,
Does
and then shrugs.
She just like looks at everybody else in the room. Does anybody else? You weren't watching everybody when you thought there was a murderer in this room? Nobody left the room?
Oh, I mean, I wasn't in. They go, no, I didn't see. Well, I was sort of not paying.
Oh, brother. Okay. Yeah.
Why don't we go back to the foyer where there's the stair and see if there are any other secret entrances in there? And I feel like if the people who would have knowledge of such secret entrances would be the butler. We also have the
Wife?
and the wife, perhaps. And then there's the gray-skinned individual who had mentioned that he was very close, a very long friendship with the master of the house. So perhaps he might have some knowledge.
Well, we can't leave. Somebody has to stay here.
So we're all going together. This is a group effort now.
Oh boy, everybody hold hands.
You all
Where's that
We're herding everyone out of the room.
So at this point, you're holding hands with Tilda and Radagast and Billsley and Lady Marmalade and now Sophie the housekeeper and Jet. And you've all linked together, holding hands. Some more delighted than others. Tilda just loves it.
While I'm holding Tilda's soft little paw, do I see anything on the perfect little like piece?
I see do. You know what? Yeah, they look dirty. As if she's been somewhere around, dirt, mulch, that sort of thing. Who's to say? Not Tilda, that's for sure.
I'm gonna just like telephone down the line. Tilda's got dirty peeps, by the way. I'm just saying she was by that.
Tilda, dirty little paws. Dirty little paws that right now. Yeah.
Now that we're in the foyer, I'm going to check the top of the stairs for any kind of clue.
Yeah, so at the top of the stairs, you did see those drag marks from the body before. That was pretty much your only indication here. So you're taking everybody, sorry, where are you going right now? With everyone?
To the foyer?
The foyer?
Yeah, so where we found the body to see if there are any secret entrances into here.
Yeah, why don't you go ahead and roll an investigation with advantage since you're trying to see these things, and you now know there's one secret door in this room, so go for it.
Want to do it?
I mean, have the rogue do it, that seems like a pretty good call.
Okay, that's a 14.
Okay, so with 14, you know, wouldn't you believe it? At the base of the stairs, you find another of these panels and swings around. You're standing in the shed.
What?
Gasp! Oh, goodness! Oh, goodness!
All right. Wow. Let's see.
Oh, crap. And everybody, again, is watching the wall spin and now looks expectantly at the three of you.
Did none of you who work here feel like this was necessary information for us to know at any point?
Well, you didn't ask.
Are there any other ways around the house that aren't obvious?
Well, no, says Radagast.
This is the only secret door.
Well, the other one from before, so that's 2 secret doors, total.
So that's it.
Probably.
No secret hallways?
No.
Secret vaults?
No.
Eva would like to go to the library where the gray-skinned individual said that he was, and she would like to look through there and see if there are any secret entrances in the library.
Sure, yeah, and as you step into the library, this is your first time in here, and you see that the furniture, it's all just a little bit in disarray, and there's a spatter of something sticky on the carpet.
I think that he and Tilda are in it together. It's my inkling.
Are you saying this out loud?
No. Okay. As a sidebar to my companions.
Sidebar, I'm convinced the wife paid someone else to do it for her.
Ooh, she-
Sidebar, I'm convinced that the wife and Tilda are lovers. Really quick, while we're still at the shed secret entrance.
Yes.
With my dark vision, can I see if I see any like bunny rabbit feet in like the dirt on the floor and everything like that?
You look around, it looks like somebody has swept the floor quite recently.
The trick in the book. Got it.
Sweeping.
Sweeping.
Yeah, no, it seems very, very clean. Almost like a maid has been here recently.
They all did it. Because they didn't want to be at this fucking party anymore.
Still alive is guilty.
But
Alright, you're all going to jail. End of game.
why would the maid feel inclined to clean the shed? Or anyone feel inclined to clean the shed, other than our murderer?
Billsley takes another long drag of his cigarette.
Billsley?
What?
Do you regularly clean your shed?
On occasion. Why?
Do you keep any cleaning supplies there at all, or is it usually the maid staff who takes care of that?
It's the maid who gets that. I do the plants,
Yeah.
flowers, hedges, trees.
Got it.
But not grown-ass adult trees. That's their business. I don't do that.
Okay. I don't think it was him. He's simple and lovely.
I am lovely.
Is that hey?
So there was something.
And as you all are standing here, considering this, looking between the shed, now in the library, something sticky, a scream goes up outside the house from downstairs.
Why did we leave, people? Weren't we holding hands? It was beautiful.
It was just me that left.
You're looking around, everybody's still holding hands with you, and so they're like, oh.
We all run together holding hands to the screen.
We're trying to.
And as you go and move around, you run, and the sound is coming from the master bedroom. And as you get into the room, you see that the body is no longer where you left it. It is gone, and the source of the scream, nowhere to be found.
Any drag marks? Mulch marks?
There is a mess where somebody has clearly tipped over some pots and maybe moved this body, but, and at this point, everyone is like, oh my god, didn't you leave the body here? What is happening in this moment?
Is the mulch pile bigger? That I definitely didn't create?
The multiplayer is not a figure at this point, so, no idea. And of course, now, Lady Marmalade, for the first time, actually seems concerned. It's like, well, what have you done? Where is it?
What? We were right here. What do you mean, what have we done?
Well, this has something to do with you. Who's screaming? I'm very confused at this point. I demand answers. Who did this? You've been investigating.
Trying to figure out, lady.
You have been investigating all night, and quite frankly, we are running out of time. I would say we only have 19 minutes.
This is the first time you've been concerned all night. Why is this disappearance suddenly so terrible?
Well, my ex-husband's body is gone, and I don't know why. And she's looking around the room, and people are looking back at her, and they all seem to be very confused and gazing at each other very intently.
Well, perhaps he wasn't actually dead and managed to escape you finally.
No, he was quite dead, and wasn't he? And yes, I was like, yes, he was very dead. We saw him, he was dead. And Radagast is absolutely, completely dead. And now gone. And they're all shaking their heads, looking at each other.
Well, you said your husband had a lot of enemies. Who are they, and what would they want with his body? What would they have to gain from that? You said tree funerals were very complicated.
I think at this point, and correct me if I'm wrong, mistress. Oh, no, you're not wrong, Radagast. Go ahead. Perhaps we shall all take a break at this point. We'll remember more in the morning. I don't think your services are required any longer. Thank you.
You would wish to let the murderer stay in this house while you're in it?
I just feel like a good night's sleep would do us all some good. Yes? Oh, I think so, says Tilda, and the gray-skinned man nods solemnly. The rest would be great.
I think they're all in this together.
I think
They're all lovers.
We got it.
And Bilsey said, okay, so are we leaving, or... Because I would let it go. I'm, sleepy.
Well, I'm still interested in hearing about his enemies. What exactly did your husband do that would cause him to have so many enemies?
Nothing, he didn't do anything. He never did anything. Perhaps that was the trouble.
Intimidated out of her. Okay.
You know what? I think you should leave. Don't you all? And they all say, yes, we think it's time for you to leave. And they start getting very, very close to you as they're kind of pushing you out of the house.
We're going to try one more intimidation.
Okay?
I said we weren't letting anyone go until we found the murderer, and we are not moving at all.
Okay.
That's 19.
All right. So yeah, you are standing your ground, and all of these people who have been coming up to you kind of back off, and that's when you hear the little click of a hammer. Oh, I really just wish you would have left. As Tilda has in a trembling paw holding this revolver towards you.
Oh boy.
But
Take out the rabbit.
No, just leave, and this will all be over.
I'm going to swing my sword at her.
Go ahead, roll that, Tilda. Roll to attack Tilda.
Yeah. Oh gosh.
oh no.
That's 11.
Okay. Tilda moves with a speed you would not expect of such a large rabbit as she steps out of the way, and a shot rings off and buries in a nearby wall, and you hear a and a slump. And everybody turns towards this bullet hole that is now in the wall, and something large falls behind the wall.
I'm gonna try to keeping eyes on her, try to make my way over to the wall, and if it's one of those secret panels.
It is, and it's a panel that you absolutely opens up. Do you open it?
Yeah.
So behind this panel, you see your old friend, Elmfrost, now with a bullet hole in the middle of his chest as he is slumped down here, and everybody goes, wait. I really didn't know about that secret door. So did you just, until it's like,
I'm gonna really quickly just try to disarm Tilda.
yeah, I think she is stunned enough in this moment that has no idea. And Lady Marmalade says, well, if he wasn't dead before, he is now. So I suppose that brings us now, doesn't it?
It's the healing thing.
And as you reach out and you're trying to stitch life back together, this time you feel there is some life still left in this individual, and you see the bullet hole kind of closes, and a tree bark hand clutches around you and says, "They were all trying to kill me." Get me out of here!
I slowly close the door. Turn back to the room and take out my knife.
So that will be all then, yes. I left you money on the counter. You can go.
No!
Yeah, so from this point on, I think it has become very clear to you that all of these people were perhaps involved in this attempted murder. So what is your game plan at this point? There are 3 of you. You are well armed. These people are not. What are you trying to do?
I found that missing rope.
You find that missing rope, and as you finally have them all before you, and you search that person, Tilda just shudders again, and a rope falls off of her person. This has become such a mess.
I'm so sorry for you. As I'm tying up the little paw.
Oh, and she looked, and you hear a tap from inside. Is anybody going to let me out?
Hold on, we're trying to contain the situation to make sure it's actually safe. She looks at eyes all these people before you come out.
Okay, and so you get everybody rounded up, and you hear a creak, and I don't know what happened. All of a sudden, I turned around, and there they were, and somebody shoved me down the stairs, and I fell, and then I got back up, and I went back to the library, and I said, what's going on? And then there was this axe in my back, and then, oh, my poor Calia.
Weren't you dead?
Well, your trees can do this thing, but it was very complicated. But I figured I should pretend to be dead for some time, but then I got shot, so this is all very complicated.
Who can we call to get these people out of here?
Oh, the local authorities, I suppose. But how could you all betray me like this? My wife, who I deeply respect. My dearest friend, and my old lover, and I know you two are close now, but that's why. I don't understand that. And Radagast, my best friend in the whole world. You know I left everything to you in my will. And Radagast goes, yeah. Well, thank you all for your help. If you wouldn't mind escorting them all out of here, I suppose I have a daughter to bury.
Okay, well, if you need anything, contact Sandy.
What sort of tip is appropriate in this situation?
We take precious stones. Golds, platinum, property?
Well, you know, I'm not going to need a house this big anymore, so perhaps we can work something out.
I'd recommend putting less secret passages.
I don't know if you spin on that a little, that was pretty
You
great.
know, it did seem a bit excessive, and I built 25 secret passages into myself. It's just so hard to get around. And with that, you will receive a very large tip for your catering job. Well done. Nobody tried to move. But the first food part paper has been solved. Congratulations, heroes. So thank you all so much for joining us for this magical episode of Clue/Venture Maidens. And as I said before, we are a D&D actual play 5th edition podcast. So if you want to hear more of us, you absolutely can. We stream live on Wednesdays on Twitch, 6:30 Pacific time. I know we're in the future here. But you can always check that out. Or, of course, you can find all clean, podcast, edited, lovely versions of this wherever podcasts are free. So let's go ahead one more time. Hey, everybody. Once again, I'm Celeste Konovich, and I have been your Dungeon Master.
And I've been playing a very sad and drow rogue /chef.
And I'm Seaman. I was your failed bad cop, Antonia Silvertail.
And I'm Sage, and I was your bard who is always cruising for a date.